Ready to Love, and this is a review of the interview that Paul, P.O., did with Little Black Book. And let me tell you, y'all, mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the messiest of them all? Paul. Let me tell you, Paul is messy, and this is not attractive. I don't know. Paul is way too old for this. Isn't he damn near 50 years old, and he's this damn messy? Is this attractive to women? Because it's not attractive to me at all. I don't really understand how Paul has become this person at 50 years old. Of all the things you can grow and evolve into, this shouldn't be the person that you grow and evolve into, Paul. This is not a good look for you at all. I can't believe all this mess going on with Tina. Everybody knows Tina's crazy. Everybody knows Tina's flaky. Everybody knows that Tina is a liar. When she started talking about she had car trouble, I told you back then she was a liar. All this stuff going on back and forth that they're talking about behind the scenes, that Tina was really at the retreat a day earlier, but she was so, I don't know, inebriated or whatever else it might have been. They're even alluding to other things. I'm not going to say it on here, but production didn't even want her to tape. They had to put her up in the room and feed her and keep her away from everybody else. You know what? None of that is new to me. And let me tell you, Tina is a mess. She is absolutely a mess. She's an absolute lies about love thing. And the other thing about Tina, she's not even a good liar. She don't even come up with no good lies that make you have to think whether or not this is the truth or not. Her lies are so apparently a lie that you don't even have to think about them. You just hear them and you be like, that's a lie, that's a lie, that's a lie. You don't even have to really think about it. Girl, make us work. If you're going to be a liar out here in the world, make people work. Tina don't even make you work. But you know what, Paul? He's messy. When he was telling all this story about when Tina was at the house, but he was going around snooping back in the production room, and I saw Tina over there. That shit is messy for a 50-year-old man. Why are you doing that? And why are you still doing it? To clear your name? We was wondering, how the heck did Paul make it to the end? Well, let me speak for me. I was wondering, because Paul was on the chopping block very early. In fact, I thought Paul was going to go home by round 1 or round 2 or round 3. Every week I was shocked why Paul was there. But I started to notice something about Paul's strategy. Most people's strategy was to come on here and make connections strong enough to last the very end. Paul's strategy was he knew from the very beginning no one really liked Paul. Who liked Paul? Nobody liked Paul. So his strategy became, listen, I may not make it to the end by everybody liking me, but what I'll do is I'll knock out everybody else. When you start looking at how all these men got eliminated, who had a hand in the pot? And it was Paul. Paul was behind the scenes creating drama and messiness so that people wouldn't necessarily choose him, but they would send other men home. When you think about who went home and why didn't Paul go home? All these situations. Now, Eric went home because, of course, he was groping on Dakiya and all that. But who was the one who exposed Eric to production? Paul. Dakiya already said she wasn't going to say nothing about it. Paul was the one. He said he did it in order to protect Dakiya. But no, I don't believe that anymore. I think Paul used that as a way to get rid of Eric. And in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Paul went to production and said, you need to get rid of him. He shouldn't be on the show. I believe he said it for Dakiya. I don't think Dakiya was going to say it. And I think Paul said it. I really do. Because listen, Dakiya didn't even want to speak up didn't want to even stand up to Clifton. So I don't believe she went and did all that with production. I don't believe that anymore. I think it was Paul was doing the talking. Even with Demetrius and Precious. If you think about it, Paul left Demetrius out there, hang out there and die. When Demetrius was talking all this stuff about in the club, and having to tell Precious she was ready to go home, Paul never intervened and said it wasn't just Demetrius, it was his thoughts too. And we all know Paul had the same thoughts because he was talking about Precious like a dog on the episode. He was talking bad about Precious himself. But when Demetrius was trying to tell Precious why she wasn't ready to love, did Paul stand up? No. He was more than willing to let Demetrius take all those bullets himself. And Paul so-called had a connection with Precious, but when Precious saved him, and then when Precious needed him to save her, he was nowhere to be found. But when Precious saved Paul, he darn near bit her head off when she was talking about, I saved you, and I'm just trying to tell you what the thing. He darn near bit her head off. And then he did all this, and then all this is so-called save Dakiya, and he really wanted to get with Dakiya. And then he's telling Dakiya all those nice things, like I said in my original video, like he was reading a Maya Angelou video, a rap song, lyrics to some new song he's making, only to stand up there and say, I choose myself, Dakiya. Then why are you here? We already knew you wanted to do Dakiya, so you can get up here and reject her at the very end? This is ridiculous. Women, y'all missed it. I missed it too. You missed what Paul was doing. Paul was really getting all your ears, causing a lot of strife to cause division between you with men, so you would then vote that man off and he would get to last to the end. I guess you could call it a brilliant strategy, Paul, because you did make it to the end, but it don't look good. And like I've talked about all these women, you might have made it to the end, but you don't look good in the end. And after a while, you got to ask yourself, was it worth it? And Paul, I don't think it was worth it because you look horrible out here. Talk to you later. Bye.